I assume you learned that from my daily credit insights. Welcome back, everyone, for our returning viewers. Today, we'll discuss the best day to pay your credit card bill that can help enhance your credit score. Is it Sunday? Nope. Wednesday? Not that either. Is it Friday? None of those. The ideal day is the statement closing date, which is what we'll explore today. The discussion will be divided into two parts. In the first part, we'll look at all the aspects of a credit score and how to achieve that perfect 850. The first, most significant component is timely payments, which make up 35% of your score. As the name suggests, this means making sure you pay your bills on time. It's straightforward. Ensure you pay your credit card bills and mortgage promptly. If you do this consistently, you'll be rewarded. However, if you miss a due date, it's not the end. You have a 30-day grace period before it's reported as late, but you'll incur a late fee, so it's best to pay on time. If you're only a day or two late, just pay it off as soon as possible. The second component is credit utilization, which is 30% of your score. This is simply how much of your available credit you're using. For instance, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and charge $5,000, your utilization is 50%. The general rule is to keep it below 30%, preferably under 10%. Exceeding these limits could negatively impact your score, making it seem like you're using too much of your available credit. This is where we'll focus later when discussing the optimal payment date for your credit card bill. The third component is the average length of your credit history, contributing 15% to your score. This looks at the age of your oldest credit account and the average length across all accounts. The key takeaway is to avoid closing your first ever credit card, even if it's not ideal. If you need to close subsequent accounts that are in good standing, don't worry. They will continue to age on your credit report for a decade, positively affecting your score. The fourth component is credit mix, accounting for 10% of your overall score. This involves having different types of credit accounts, such as credit cards, auto loans, or home loans. Credit cards are revolving credit, while auto and home loans are installment credit. Lastly, the fifth component is hard inquiries, which also make up 10% of your score. A hard inquiry happens when you apply for new credit and it shows up on your credit report. These inquiries fade away after 2 years. Looking at all 5 components, timely payments and credit utilization together make up 65% of your score. Therefore, consistently paying on time and in full puts you on the right track to achieving a good credit score. Now let's discuss how to enhance this further by focusing on credit utilization in the second section, the best date for paying your credit card bill. Remember earlier when I mentioned that the optimal day is the statement closing date or closing date, which is different from your due date? You're right to pay by the due date. That's important. However, here's the hack. Remember that credit utilization reflects how much of your total credit you're using, and this information is reported to credit bureaus on your statement closing date. So let's clarify this with an example using my Chase Sapphire Reserve card with a $24,000 limit. Suppose I charged $10,000 last month, leading to a usage of around 41 to 42%. If I just plan to pay the due date of May 4th, my utilization will still reflect on April 7th when Chase reports to the bureaus. Therefore, it's smart to pay down as much as possible before the closing date, ensuring a lower reported utilization to the credit bureau. If I pay before the closing date, Chase will report a lower usage, which can enhance my credit score. Be sure to check your credit card statement for your statement closing date, and if possible, pay down charges before that date, especially if you're applying for loans. This date usually falls around 20 to 24 days before your due date. In a recent example from last year, despite only having a 30% utilization, charging $7,000 negatively affected my score by 30 points. I quickly paid it off, and my score rebounded. Just remember, managing credit utilization effectively can have a significant impact on your score. If you prefer to pay on your due date due to your paycheck schedule, that's fine, and you won't incur additional interest. But for those concerned about fluctuations in their credit score, it's wise to settle bills before the statement closing date to maintain a lower utilization, especially before applying for loans. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Catch you in the next video. Take care.